A new report shows a pair of national rival chain pharmacies at odds over Christmas. CVS uses the term Christmas in its advertising and products. Rite Aid does not. Those are among the findings of the Liberty Council's Naughty and Nice retail list. It analyzes which companies use the term Christmas and which do not. Among the naughty, you can see it here, J. Crew, Rite Aid Pharmacy, and TJ Maxx. The nice, Hallmark, CVS, and the Home Depot. We're joined by Jay Richards, assistant professor in the School of Business and Economics at the Catholic University of America. He's also host of Force for Good right here on our network. Welcome back.
Thanks, Lauren. Good to be with you.
From a Catholic perspective, let's talk about this naughty and nice list that has come out. The gap is on the naughty list because there are no references to Christmas. And I think that's the problem with a lot of the companies on here. So since Jesus is the reason for the season, the birth of Jesus, why does the retail industry leave out Christmas?
I think, honestly, Lauren, part of it is a kind of self-censorship. The reality is that companies have an economic motivation to talk about Christmas. The vast majority of Americans celebrate it. They're buying presents. And so I really think a lot of this is self-censorship and not actual hostility. But the fact that they have an economic motive and know that, if there's literally no reference to Christmas, I think that has to be intentional. Okay,
but I don't understand. Why would they self-censor?
I think they imagine that their customer base or their constituency is going to be offended, which is absurd. There's almost no place in the country is anyone going to be offended by this. And so I think there's a little of that. And I think in some cases, it's actually at the corporate level. There's just simply discomfort with religious things.
So as a Catholic, should I shop only at the nice list?
That's a tough question. I mean, so do we punish the bad guys for doing this? I think the best thing to do is to make your opinion known. Thank the companies that do this, like Hobby Lobby. They're a Christian company. They're on the nice list. Reward them with that, and then say something to the companies that don't, that you actually noticed it.
Right. So the others that we haven't mentioned, Bath & Body Works, Beals, Belk, Best Buy, Bronner's, ChristmasPlace.com, all of those are ones that you could talk about on social media.
Yes, absolutely.
And that you could actually patronize this
That's
Christmas.
exactly right. And I mean, the funny thing about this, Lauren, is that the fact that Christmas is a public reality is itself a reflection of the influence of Catholics on the culture, but it happened 150 years ago. And so now we're just sort of living off the interest of that. And so, you know, it's a problem to over-commercialize it, but on the other hand, we should be glad when companies actually foreground this.
What do you mean 150 years ago?
It was only about 150 years ago that Christmas became a public event.
If you commercialized holiday.
Or really anything. It was not a commercial and federal holiday until 1870. And if you talk to the Puritans in the 1600s, none of them celebrated Christmas or any feasts on the liturgical calendar. Remember, Christmas is short for, that's Christ Mass. The fact that Christmas is a public and now almost secular event is itself evidence of the shaping of American culture by the church over the last century and a half.
Fascinating information, Jay. It's always great to talk to you about business and Catholic social teaching. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure, Lauren.
Jay Richards, host of EWTN's A Force for Good.